Yeah, we are
Indeed.
live.
Well, what is up, everybody? We are live. Breakdown number 2 of 2 on the day. Just completed the UFC or the LFA 146 breakdown from Sao Paulo, Brazil on Friday. So both Friday cards are up on the channel now with Cage Warriors earlier in the week and LFA. And now I have a co-host. So first co-hosted podcast of the week. How you doing, MMA Wagers?
Good, man. Good. It's pretty nice here actually in Canada, Ontario. I don't know how it is there, but for November I'll take this weather and yeah, this card's okay. I think last week's card was a bit better, but yeah, I'll take a UFC any Saturday.
Yeah. The end of the year, besides the pay-per-views, I think are a little bit lackluster, but you never know with the fights. So just did the LFA breakdown, pretty pumped about that. And then Moist, my boy, here in the comments with the carousel. As always, see you indeed. Yeah, I mean, the main event I'm excited about because I'm a huge Marina Rodriguez fan. Yeah, here we go. Indeed. I love Marina Rodriguez. She's, I think, long overdue for a title shot. So
Yeah,
I'm a bit
very
worried
technical.
very technical, but also I think one of the few strikers in this division who really has the power to put away her opponent. And her opponent, you can kind of say the same thing for with Amanda Lemos. So, but in very different ways, she puts her opponent away.
She's
But
already knocked out an Amanda in the past, so
yeah, it's going to be an interesting main event. I'm really excited to see Marina back in there personally, and I am a little bit biased on Marina fights, but I think she beat Carla Esparza quite a while ago. And just in general, I think there's a lot. Yes, is long overdue. So otherwise, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. We are down to 12 fights on the card as of recording now, but yeah, we have some information. Either way, the first fight of the night, I'm not spending a lot of time on it. It's a good indication when I don't click on either fighter's Tapology page of how much I'm going into it. This one, we're just going to start 135, Ramona Pasquale versus Tamaris Vidal. Tamaris Vidal sounds like she should be amazing at fighting. She's not. Eileen Perez, she has a win over her by disqualification with illegal knees in the third round after she was getting her ass whooped by Eileen Perez in that garbage bag ring. There's not a lot of positives I have to say about Tamaris. She really just leans against her opponents for the most part in her fights, goes for the takedowns, usually grabs for a single leg against the cage and kind of takes her opponent down, lays on them. Ramona Pasquale looks like less than UFC adequate so far. I'm not seeing any of the power or the things that I saw prior to the UFC. This is her first fight back down at 135 in quite a while as well. She's been fighting at featherweight and catch weights and things like that. I mean, I guess dog or pass in this spot would be my advice, but I see a lot of people on Ramona this weekend, and I can't blame them. If I had to pick a side, I'd take Ramona by KO. That's wishful thinking, but Tamaris is just not good, man. Like, I don't know how she's a favorite.
yeah, and I thought she was coming in short notice, but yeah, she got this UFC contract coming off a win in LFA. You probably saw that fight with Braga. Got the heel hook in round 2.
Yeah, which is fine. Puella Braga is not great.
Yeah, she was a minus 130 favorite in that. Got it done. She's a grappling style. 4 years in the game so far. She has no amateur background that I can find. So this is her 8th professional fight. UFC debut. Ramona's 0-2 in the UFC so far to start the year off, or in 2022. This is her 3rd fight in 2022, losing to Jocelyn Edwards and Josiana Nunes. And she came in short notice for that fight as well. And she actually showed a good account of herself, landing 52 significant strikes, 3 takedowns. She went all 3 rounds. I'm going to take Ramona. I think she's faced the better opposition. She's due for a win here. She gets her walking papers if she loses this one. So, yeah, give me Ramona. I think it's pretty even, the odds. She was an underdog earlier in the week, but yeah, I think it's pretty much even money now.
Yeah, I'm seeing her coming in at even money. She was at plus 120 when I did put her in a parlay, just a couple of the long shot parlay I put her into, and I put her into one other one just because I don't feel she should be the favorite. I don't really understand why Vidal is.
Yeah, and she comes from a good camp, Syndicate MMA, and there's another fighter on this card coming from Syndicate. Who is it?
And Vidal was minus 130 in her last fight against Braga, yet minus 140 here against Pasquale kind of surprises me. So yeah. I just rate Tamaris. I rate Tamaris as less than good. I don't think this is going to be a good fight. I think we spent enough time on it.
Yeah, let's take Pasquale to start off the card.
Yep, we are starting with an agreement. Much better second fight here, 125. This is the graduates of the Dana White Contender Series here in Jake Hadley of taking on Carlos Candelario. This should be a good fight. Carlos Candelario is, he's okay. We diving in. Aaron, I see you change your name. We diving into Buddhism. Yes, indeed. Aaron the Dag.
The Dag today.
The Dag today. Yeah, Carlos Candelario has a trait that I don't love in my 125ers, and that's that he slows down. Starts out really, really good, like against Victor Altamirano, and then loses the last 2 rounds and ends up losing a fight. Started out really strong in his fight on the Contender Series, which was also a loss, or his fight in the UFC to Tatsuro Taira, and slowed down as the fight went on. We've seen how good Taira is, though. So that we'll say that right off the bat. Taira, the best prospect at 125? Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
Very legitimate. Yeah.
Him or Makayev, I would take Taira after the last 2 performances. But maybe that's a hot take. But either way, went to a decision with him, so I can't really hate on him there. Before the UFC, getting the win in CES over Miguel Restrepo from the Ultimate Fighter, or from CES, he got a previous win over as well. So just, a decent level of experience, good power on the feet and good grappling. But again, he just really does slow down as the fights go on here. And Jake Hadley had less than impressive debut, and I'll admit it. But he did have some moments against Alan Nascimento where he got that guillotine pretty close in, and Nascimento had to flop to his back. Also, Nascimento's enormous and just, I think a much trickier debut than a lot of people give him credit for. I rate Jake Hadley pretty highly, honestly, and he's the one who has to win over Ultimate Fighter Mitch Raposo. So sorry, I got the wires crossed there. But it's the win over Luke Shanks, the win over Blaine O'Driscoll. Those are wins in Bellator and in Cage Warriors that I really rate highly. I think he had a really poor showing in his debut where he still had moments against Nascimento. I think Candelario and him match up physically much more similarly, and I just think Hadley is the better guy here, better gas tank, more tools to win this. So I like Jake Hadley. I know the odds do as well, but I do think he's the better guy here.
Yeah, you pretty much all around. I'm high on Jake Hadley as well. I'm disappointed he lost his debut. It was a game of Charles Oliveira's guys, Nascimento. Yeah, I think maybe he underestimated him, or it was a bad weight cut. I'm not sure, but I see him losing 2 in a row. But I mean, Carlos Candelario is a very scrappy opponent. No walk in the park. He only has the 2 really good in Tyro and Altamirano coming in short notice as well, and that was a split decision. Really good account of him in the Contender Series fight. Remember that fight? It was really good back and forth fight. So I see this going all 3 rounds. I don't think if there is a finish, I think it will be Jake Hadley. But yeah, this is a former champion here. He's fought Bellator. He's fought in a lot of good promotions. He comes from a boxing family. I think his dad's in the corner. I just think, yeah, he rebounds here. I'd be surprised if he loses, I put the split decision prop bet on both of them as well. And yeah, I got Jake Hadley and parlays already, but I think the odds really should be closer. I think they're just disregarding Carlos here. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be closer than what the odds indicate.
Yeah, I agree. 100% all the way around with the odds minus 275 to minus 300, plus 215 to plus 230 on Carlos. That's just, way off. So I see some
I'm
people.
going to look at the decision prop.
Yeah, for sure. But should be a good one. Third fight in, we'll say. Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Ludovic Shaolinian. This is a good fight. Just my 2 cents. What up, man? Good to see you here. Thanks for making the stop over. Just finished the LFA breakdown and now breaking down a card with somebody for the first time all week. So that's nice. But good to see you here. This is a fight that I don't have a huge lean on one way or the other. I'll be honest. So I'm more going to go through kind of the resumes and how I feel overall. But Ludovic Shaolinian, 9-2, originally out of Kiev, Ukraine, 9-2-1, I should say, LFA and Bellator experience, losing his debut to Jack Shore last September. So it's been a while since he's fought. Was supposed to fight Nathaniel Wood in March and did withdraw with an injury. On the Ultimate Fighter, beat Mitch Raposo, lost to Ricky Tercios in a pretty close decision. Had a close decision with Yuma Oriuchi, which is, not a guy who I rate low, although Yuma is more known as a 125er. So a little bit of concerns there, but yeah, not a well-known record, but mostly a grappler, mostly looks to use his cardio and his pace as a weapon here. Johnny Munoz, pretty similar in a lot of ways. Kid Kivembo, more of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, but also likes to use his wrestling for sure. 29 years old. Really not impressed with him in the last fight against Tony Gravely, needless to say, but it ended in a minute. Before that, he had a really good had a really good performance against Jamie Simmons. Just really worked him all the way down. Competitive fight with Nate Maness, who's now at 125. Johnny is just a little bit limited to me, but he's pretty much better in every aspect than Shaolinian. Shaolinian has been off for a year. So I think the one spot Shaolinian can really have the advantages in the pace. So I think he's just got to work and make this, a high-paced type of fight where cardio becomes a big factor, because that's where he has the biggest edge over Munoz. I just don't see him doing it, but I'm not super excited about this one. I guess Munoz, but I don't know. I don't like saying that either.
Yeah, this is just a random fight. It doesn't really mean anything in the rankings, but Johnny Munoz, 1-2 in the UFC. I really think he should be 2-1. I thought he beat Nate Maness in his UFC debut. Jamie Simmons, and then he got caught by Tony Gravely. Jack Shore fight, and he didn't get any takedowns or anything. He got beat up for the most part, but it's Jack Shore. Come on. So he won all 3 rounds. The Ukrainian wrestler, 4-time national champion, but he lost to Ricky Turquoise, the champion on that season. Tercio. Ricky Tercio, the champion on that season. So he's only lost by I like the dog here. Johnny is a BJJ black belt. He's been training since he was 6 years old, so I'm going to hedge bet Johnny by submission, because Ludovic is going to go for takedown wrestler. But the gas tank on both are good. I just think the dog, but yeah, hedge bet Johnny by submission.
Very good. Yeah, fair enough. You're breaking up a little on my end. It might just be on. I don't know if it's for everybody else or not. So if anybody can let me know if he's coming through clear on their end, It's just getting a little choppy at points for me with you. So if you want to just hop out and hop back in,
Okay,
I'm not positive, but if you just want to do that real quick, just in case, thank you. All right. But yeah, fair enough. We have a disagreement here. What happened? Ludovic plus 190, I'm saying, minus 245 on Johnny Munoz. I don't know who's running to do that. Haka here mentioning over 1.5 on all glitchy. Okay, so it is glitchy. Yes. Let's see is that any better?
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, they were saying it was a little glitchy for you. So okay. If it is here again, we might do the whole restart thing and everything. But yeah, I think this is a fair disagreement. Minus 245 on Munoz is pretty nuts to me. Plus 190 on Ludovic, I would take all day. And
the submission prop is probably plus money as well.
Yep, I agree. Next fight, I hate to say it, but I'm not going to be clicking on either one of these Tapology pages here. I'm not that excited about this one. This is not a high quality, good fight to me. Ginu Frey versus Polyana Viana. Polyana Viana was having plane troubles, as well as Amanda Lemos and I think one other Brazilian, if I'm not mistaken. But Viana hardly got here. She did 12-5 versus 11-7. This is at strawweight now. Polyana doesn't like getting punched very much. Like when she does, it really does seem to mess with her game plan. When she can execute her jiu-jitsu, she can submit somebody. I think Ginu Frey is a level above what Viana is able to submit. So I guess I'll just say Ginu Frey gets a decision here, but I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say. Okay.
Yeah, you're still really glitchy, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're completely blurry now, and we can't hear you. So go ahead and restart and come back and see if that's better. But yeah, you're completely gone right now. So I would restart your computer and come back. But we'll work it out. But yeah, this is a steak fight. I did hear that part through the glitch here. So I'm just going to take you off for now, but we'll just restart and come back. All right, Ginu Frey though is my pick. As he was trying to say through that glitch, it is a steak fight. So yeah, I agree. So I'm not gonna. And Brandon just wanted to say that he does have Polyana by sub. So fair enough there. That's his pick. Jin is my pick. I got the slight underdog in Ginu Frey at plus 105, minus 135 to Miss Viana. Frey, low IQ subbed by Hansen and Demo. Yeah, good point. At 37. Demopoulos is that is a good point. I forgot about the Hansen sub. Ugh. Yeah. That was at 125 though. Tell him to move the spot he's at. Yep, I will mention that to him as well. We're working through that. Yeah, this is not a fight I'm betting on either way. So if you're right on this, congratulations. Viana by sub, probably a decent prop, but I'll just pick Jin. Why not? Next fight, 135. Random Benito Lopez making his return. Sure, why not? Taking on Mario Batista. Mario Batista here, a guy who I respect pretty decently. I'm quite surprised to see Benito Lopez here. And yeah, Justin, okay. Benito Lopez, the golden boy, 10-1, 28 years old. He's making his return to the UFC. We've all been waiting for it, haven't we? After that win against Vince Morales in 2019, just been off for casual 3.5 years. I don't know where he's been at. Not sure what's going on. Lost to Manny Bermudez back in the day. Remember Manny Bermudez? Bermudez used to be awesome. Got guillotine choked by him. No shame there. Win over Albert Morales, as well as a win on the Contender Series, closely over Steven Peterson. Those are his last 4 out. The Morales win, definitely the best he's looked. Morales, not a guy who I am overly rating, especially back in 2019. He's been off for 3 years, so Benito could have really improved overall, known as a striker. with good grappling, with some good grappling as well. Pretty well rounded. Team alpha male. Mario Batista, 10-2. Just a really steady fighter here. Uses his cardio well. 2 straight wins out of MMA lab. 29 years old. 10-2 overall. Brian Kelleher got rear naked choked by him in June. He beat up Jay Perrin very handily to a decision there as well. Let's see. Test it out.
Hey, what's up, man?
That sounds much better.
Awesome.
So if it's still an issue here, it might be the spot you're in too. So
okay.
Haka mentioned maybe moving.
It's never happened before, so hopefully third time's the charm here.
Yeah, but yeah, I did mention Viana by sub for you. Yeah, with this fight, I'm surprised to see Benito Lopez back. It's been 3 years. I haven't been overly impressed by him, even though he's 2-1 in the UFC. Yeah, General Alex, roll call, Noah's here. I love it. The Army is in here, and I love to see him here. I just think Batista is a really steady fighter, uses a good pace. The way he jumped on the back of Kelleher was really impressive after in that fight. I think that was one thing that was kind of criticized about him with some of his fights, was that he wasn't, maybe as assertive early on as he should be. But, wins over Miles Johns by a finish and the Brian Kelleher finish. Jay Perrin, he beat up pillar to post for that fight, which, it's Jay Perrin. I think he's got a really good matchup here and another opportunity to get another KO. So I think he KOs Benito Lopez. Myself, I wouldn't be surprised with a sub as well. He has been sub before, but Batista by inside the distance I like here.
Yeah, absolutely. This might be my most confident pick on the card, Mario Batista. I really like what I see from him. 4-2 in the UFC, but one of those losses is to Corey Sandhagen coming in short notice in his UFC debut. And then he got caught by Trevin Jones in round 2, coming in short notice, actually. So, yeah, 2 of those losses do have asterisks. He has got the fourth least bottom position time in UFC bantamweight division. So he's very good at keeping it on the feet in his realm. I just think he's going to outstrike Benito Lopez here. Benito has 3 fights in the past 5 years, beating Albert Morales. We know Albert Morales at this point. He's like 13-13 or something.
Yeah,
Manny Bermudez, he got starched in 3 minutes. And then Vince Morales came in short notice for that fight. And he almost lost it. It was 29-28. So, yeah, there's no way I'm picking Benito with the layoff. And I really like Mario, how active he's been, the opposition, where he trains. He's training with John Crouch at the MMA lab. I think Mark Madsen's there as well. So, yeah, give me Mario Batista all day. He's in my parlays.
Yeah, parlay piece for me as well, minus 300. Plus 230 on Benito Lopez.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely parlayable.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think those odds will shift as well. Next fight here. I think these 2 are 2 that you can book together on a parlay. Myself, Miranda Maverick taking on Shannon Young. These are 2 of my more competent picks on this card here. Shannon Young, I just don't think she's very good. At all. I think she's overachieved to stay in the UFC to this point. And now she's going against a legit still, maybe not a prospect in some people's eyes, still prospect in my eyes, Miranda Maverick. But Shannon Young, 8-4, 31 years old for the Shanimal, coming off of that win back in April over Gina Mazzani. I mean, Gina Mazzani has the gas tank of a tank.
Of a heavyweight.
Yeah, it's horrible. Before that was put away by Edgar pretty soundly in the second round. Macy Chazan dominated pretty well. I mean, has lost to Miranda Maverick in the first round of a 2-round, 3-minute tournament with Phoenix back in the day by rear naked choke. I think she gets put away again. Has been rear naked choked by Sarah Alpar. I mean, come on. I just think that Shannon Young, they'll mention that she was a wrestler in high school, but she's not exactly a strong wrestler. Miranda Maverick, very well-rounded, training with a lot of good girls out in Denver. Team Elevation, I believe. and just physically much better, and just Maverick wrecks Shannon here and gets a finish inside 2 rounds, inside the first round, probably most likely like last time.
Yeah, this is actually rescheduled. It was supposed to happen a couple months ago. I had Maverick and a bunch of parlays already, so yeah, my pick stays the same this time around. I like this matchup. She's beaten her before. Miranda Maverick only has lost a pretty good opposition, and that one controversial split to Barber. I believe she was like a minus 5,000 in round 3 live odds, and she lost that fight to Barber. So yeah, that was definitely controversial.
I haven't met one person who scored that for Barber either.
No, I think every MMA outlet scored it for Maverick. So yeah, that's definitely an asterisk. She's got the 5th most finishes in the UFC flyweight division, 5th most submissions, 5th least strikes absorbed, wrestling BJJ style. She's got it all. She's only improving every fight, but same with Shanna Young. She's looked good her past couple fights, actually. She's definitely improving as well at Syndicate MMA with John Wood. She's training with Pasquale, who we talked about earlier. She's got a good gas tank. She has 3 out of 8 finishes in round 3. So Shanna Young is good all 3 rounds. I think it is going to go the distance. I'm going to take Miranda by decision. But yeah, she definitely could get a finish as well. What's her finishing rate? Her finishing rate, 7 out of 10, 70%, 5 out of 10 in round 1, so 50% in round 1. So she's dangerous right off the bat. So yeah, give me Miranda Maverick by decision, in my opinion.
Yep, and obviously minus 650 plus 470 plus 475.
Yeah, and she did get steamrolled by Erin Blanchfield, but she's like, Erin Blanchfield's the next big thing in the flyweight division.
Yeah, exactly. Erin Blanchfield's what we were sold Miranda Maverick was, it seems.
Yeah, that Molly McCann fight will be interesting.
Yeah, speaking of interesting, we have a wild Derek Minner sighting here against Shailin Nurandanbeki, which I'll just call him Shaolinian the rest of the way here. But yeah, this is a weird fight. Derek Minner is not a guy I rate very highly, man. I'll be honest. I think that he, I know I've said this about a few people on here, but yeah, I just think that he's a little bit of a reckless type of fighter, kill or be killed for sure. 32
tapped out 8 times.
Yeah, he's been tapped out 8 times. The Wolverine here in his 48th fight coming into this at 28 years old. 2 straight wins coming into this over TJ Brown and Sean Soriano with the UFC after losing to Joshua Coulibaugh in the first fight. Coulibaugh is okay. The last 2 fights, Sean Soriano not similar, but TJ Brown pretty similar to Derek Minner, I think, in a lot of ways. And I think this fight can look that way in a lot of ways. I think that the Wolverine has to be cautious early because that's when Minner is going to be the most dangerous. He has been finished by submission against Allison Barboza back in 2019, and then Zurong beat him by KO first round. Derek Minner, he does hit hard. He's also is a good submission artist himself. He can get submitted, as we said, 8 straight times. Gloria MMA lost his last 2. He didn't get submitted against Ryan Hall, though. So I do think that's, kind of a positive. Darren Elkins. Yeah, Darren Elkins was an absolute war before that got over. So do I think that Shailinian can survive that kind of onslaught that Darren Elkins had to survive to get to the second round? Not sure. And that's probably, I think, Minner's best route to victory. But I just don't really trust Minner that much, man. And so I'm going to go with Shaolinian here. I just think he keeps a more steady pace. He has a better gas tank. But, Minner can surprise a lot of fighters with that first round. But I think it's first round or bust for him. And that's just like, yeah.
Yeah, 21 out of 26 of Minner's wins are in round 1, 81%. 19 of his wins are under 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So, yeah, he's definitely like a Tasmanian devil right in the first 2 minutes. But yeah, like he's lost by 3 knockouts to Luke Sanders, to Kevin Kroom, to Darren Elkins, 8 subs to Jordan Griffin, Padilla. You know Padilla? I think he's been on here. and
Fernando Padilla.
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 Herbert
Two
Burns.
L's is an E. Padilla. 2 L's is an E. And Padilla.
Padilla.
Right. Not Padilla. Padilla.
No. Padilla. Okay. Herbert Burns, Grant Dawson, who missed weight actually. Jesse Arnett, like a lot of familiar names, but he's losing, obviously. He hasn't beat the best opposition, Charles Rosa. Everybody beats Charles Rosa if you're a good ground guy. He did tap out TJ Laramie in 52 seconds.
Yes.
No matter what, I'm taking Derek Minner by submission because he does have that. He does have that finishing touch in any fight. So yeah, round 1 for me, Derek Minner by submission. But my official pick is Shaolin. I think he's the next up and comer. He's from China. We see these Chinese fighters getting better and better. Grappling style for Shaolin. So if you're a grappler, that doesn't favor Derek Minner. Derek Minner struggles with grapplers. So yeah, Shaolin is my official pick, but I'm going to hedge bet Derek Minner early. And I got this fight to not go the distance as well, probably under 1.5, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I agree. The odds -210 for Shaolin here, which was surprising to me. I think it should be a little closer than that, but either way, +180
inside the distance for sure.
Yeah, it's a fight that I expect to go. Yeah, I just think it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, I think those 3, Batista, Miranda, and Shaolin, I might do a triple low with those 3 to get to even above even money. Well,
I've already got them in parlays from fighters last week, so fingers crossed.
Yep, good luck there. That is the featured prelim, so that's amazing to me. They make that the featured prelim, but something had to be a weird.
Trying to promote the China fight.
Yeah, weird prelims for sure, but yeah, I think it is to promote the. I agree that's trying to promote the Chinese fighter. First fight on the main card. A fight I see a lot of people very confident in Grant Dawson in. Am I confident in him against Marco Madsen, the Olympian? We'll talk about it here. Grant Dawson, 18-1-1, taking this fight on very short notice. 28 years old. Has made his stay up to 155. Seems to be looking very good up there. Rear naked choke Jared Gooden in the 3rd round of their fight at the end of the fight there. You'd love to see that. He's had a few fights there where he's ended it towards the end there. His last 2 wins, actually. Leonardo Santos got that finish at the end when he needed it badly. Did draw against Ricky Glenn. It's what encouraged him to go up to 155. But he's taking this on short notice. I still think there's going to be a significant cut here. So for him and on short notice, I think it's going to be a big challenge. And I don't think he's going to. I'm interested to see what his game plan is going to be here against Mark, because I just don't think it would just be to purely grapple against him. And on the feet, I haven't seen these leaps and bounds in Grant yet that really make me all that confident. Marco Madsen, 12-0, undefeated. Again, last fought in April against Vince Pichel, looked really good against Vince. Honestly, like got his game going. Seems to, have some questions on how the gas tank maintains over the 3 rounds as well. So could be just who's in the better shape here. He's been preparing for a fight though. And Grant took this on short notice. I think it's a little bit overlooking Mark in this spot. I think a lot of bettors are as well. Again, he's been in there with 3, very, solid, or not, I guess Daniel Belluardo, you can't really count, but he put him away in a minute. But Austin Hubbard looked good there. The Clay Guida fight, I think, was a real gut check type of fight for Mark. He could have easily kind of, after that fight, maybe even hung it up later in his career. But I think he made his decision. He's committed to going for a run in this division before he's done. And I think he can really surprise Grant Dawson in the spot. I think he could be the better wrestler and spend a lot more time controlling the cage. And again, he was preparing for a fight. I think that could be a huge key in a grueling type of fight like this. I think it's going to be close. The split prop seems like a tempting thing as well here. I'm going to take the underdog, though, Marco Madsen.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I thought the odds were going to be closer, in my opinion. So he was supposed to fight Drakkar Close a week ago. So this got moved a week later.
Yep.
So yeah, Grant Dawson has had at least like 2 weeks, I believe, but still, that's pretty short notice. He's only lost one time in 35 seconds by elbows, so he's a tough out. Both these guys are tough outs. Mark's never lost,
Right.
but and Mark's training with Henry Cejudo as well, another Olympian. This is going to be a younger fighter Mark's fighting in the past couple fights. Vince is in his late 30s, Clay's in his late 30s. He fought Austin Hubbard in early 2020, got the 29-28 decision. So yeah, Grant Dawson, 28, being 10 years younger. I think he's got the more well-rounded game. He's got 12 submissions, so when it does go to the ground, Mark's going to have to really be careful down there as well. Mark's girlfriend did just lose. I don't know if that means anything, but yeah, that was a bad loss. Not Mark's girlfriend, Grant. L. Dawson.
It was a minus 1,800 favorite or something.
Yeah, insane. But yeah, that's probably not going to play into his psyche at all. He's a finisher as well. 7 out of 18 in round 1, 7 out of 18 in round 2. He does slow down in round 3. I don't expect Mark to slow down. So I see this being a really close decision. And I think the odds, I do like Mark. Mark's like plus 190 or something.
Plus 195 I got him at.
Oh, you've already bet him, eh?
Yeah, I bet him before this.
Yeah. I've been fading Mark ever since he's been in the UFC. Well, not the first fight, but ever since he's fought.
The Clay Guida fight was probably a tough one to swallow. Yeah,
for sure. I actually had it for Mark. I'm surprised people thought Clay Guida won, but I didn't watch it again. I only watched it the one time. And Vince was pretty convincing. But yeah, I keep fading Mark, and it keeps biting me in the ass. And then the one time I bet on Mark, I bet he's going to lose. So I might just stay away from this fight altogether. Maybe check the over.
Yep.
And bet them both by split. I love that split prop.
Yeah.
The odds are always amazing, like plus 1,000.
Yep. I bet for this one, they're about plus 800. This feels like a plus 800 split type of.
Or even a draw. Maybe the draw.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Mark. I already have him in the straight bet at plus 195.
Yeah.
Looks like a low money has come in. He's now plus 175, minus 225 on Mr. Dawson here. So
sharp money's coming in on Mark.
Yep. I think the short notice for Grant is a mistake here. And
gonna play it back.
And I think that just because you moved up 10 pounds, he's also gotten bigger as he's moved up. So he still has that significant cut to make. And yeah, I just think Madsen is extremely underrated. I don't know what it is about him. Like, I don't know if people have him.
I hate him all the time.
I don't know if people have him confused with Mike Grundy or what it is.
Well, I just think he's too one-dimensional.
But he's very good at that dimension.
In this MMA era, in today's MMA era, you need to be well-rounded.
Well said. Moving on to flyweight here.
He makes it work.
Yeah, moving on to flyweight. Speaking of sucked out, Tagir Ulanbek taking on Nate Maness. Nate looked very, very sucked out, making his first trip down to 125 at the press conference today. But 14-2 versus 13-2. Mayhem will be breaking down first here, making his 125 debut after that loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. They give him another Russian in Tagir Ulanbek. Had a win over Tony Gravely before that, second round. Caught him really well. Johnny Munoz has a win over him, but that was questionable. Luke Sanders was a good win. Kellen Van Camp was what got him into the UFC. Got sidekicked by Terry Lapoulet. Knocked out Jesse Arnett. Has a win over Caio Machado, a good fighter from Brazil who I rate pretty well. Just overall, Nate Maness is, he's a good fighter. He's steady. Umar Nurmagomedov obviously took care of him pretty well in that fight. Tagir Ulanbek, 13-2 Russian here. So another Russian coming up here. Coming off that loss to Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott just out-scrambled Tagir to a degree that, that's just how Tim Elliott wins fights. That's not how Nate Maness is going to win this fight. Tagir had that close split decision win over Nascimento. When Nascimento made 125 somehow. I don't know how, since he's so huge at 130. Bruno Silva, good decision win there. But, so far, he's a little bit lackadaisical in there. I think Nate is going to be aggressive early, and Tagir will have to kind of deal with that. But I just think that this weight cut is bad news for Nate. Tagir is much more the natural flyweight. I just think he draws him into the deeper water. And I think he gets a decision win most likely. I just don't think this is a good fight for Nate.
Yeah, this is I was going to say it's a big step up, but Nate just lost to Umar Nurmagomedov, so this is
a step down in weight too.
Yeah, this is his first time at flyweight, I believe. It's definitely going to take a toll on him. Tagir, it's not an easy cut for him either, though, but he's definitely used to it. He's adjusted. He's faced some good opposition. Bruno Silva beat him pretty handily. Alan Nascimento, he did get a split decision. Some people thought that was a really close. Yeah, there's a reason it was a split decision. Tim Elliott cheated a lot in that fight. He got the win, 29-28. Yeah, I think he gets back on track here. I don't see Tagir losing 2 in a row. Nate Maness is a tough out. He's only lost to, I think it was Taylor Lapalus by body kick in round 3 for a championship, and that one decision to Umar. And I see Tagir being added to that list by decision. He's going to have 2 unanimous decision losses. But wrestling style for Nate Maness, so that's bad for him in this matchup. Tagir's wrestling is obviously going to be better. And yeah, I just think Tagir's overall his game just overall is better than Nate's, and Nate lost really badly to Umar, 30-25, 30-26.
Yeah,
like,
he was blown out.
Those are bad scorecards.
He also had he wanted to lose another 10 pounds.
He landed 2 significant strikes in 15 minutes in that fight.
Yeah, it might be another one where he's pretty much grounded the same way too.
Yeah, I got Tagir. This is just the prototype matchup. Another prototype to Umar's obviously better.
Only minus 210 here is surprising to me.
Oh, I thought he was minus 190. I guess the odds went up.
Yeah, I think there's been money. Let me see. Yeah, minus 210 is what I'm seeing it at.
I'm just gonna check. Bet365 usually has the best odds.
Yeah, opened up at minus 220.
We got to get a Bet365 sponsor or something.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
We'll work on it.
But next fight here is at heavyweight.
Yeah, he's up to minus 220. You're right. We missed that minus 190.
The window on it. But still, I think he's a good parlay piece. I think he's very reliable. Next fight, shitty-ass heavyweight fight. I'm not clicking on these guys' names. I appreciate Josh coming on the show at one point. I really do. He made a lot of promises back in the day of how he was working on a lot of aspects of his game. And, yeah, taking on Chase Sherman here. Chase Sherman has, the gas advantage, I would say, in this fight. They both have durability issues. They both can knock out the other one. Flip a coin and call it a day, because I'll go with Josh Parisian in this fight, just because I think he can use his size and wrestling a little bit more and kind of use cage control and work Chase Sherman in that way. Chase Sherman's been shown to be controlled there before. I can't take Chase Sherman as a favorite, which is what I'm seeing from Justin here. Yeah, I got to go with Josh Parisian.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to be betting a lot of money on this fight.
No.
There's always this random squash heavyweight fight on these fight night cards.
And Chase Sherman's always in it in the co-main event.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens, but I see this going all 3 rounds actually being a heavyweight fight.
Awful news.
And Killcliff FC, Chase Sherman's training out of Killcliff now, so
You're glitching up again, man. Brandon. Yeah, you're glitching up again.
Am I? Still?
Yeah. Yep. So maybe just move outside or something. I'm going to take you off for a second while we figure it out. But you can message me your pick here in a second. Sorry about that, everybody. We're working through it. Go Stros. What? 7-0. But I don't really care. I don't have of course. Yeah. Josh Friesen plus 110, minus 130 on Chase Sherman. I mean, minus 135. Like, if you got a favorite Sherman ticket, then God bless you. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't go the distance. But he might be right. Somehow, Josh Friesen and Chase Sherman is in the co-main event. Co-main event time, 170-pound division. Kind of flying through this card here a little bit. And yeah, we're working through the technical difficulties. These will happen. But yeah, we just had a 2-minute breakdown of hopefully a 2-minute fight. Neil Magny versus Daniel Rodriguez here at welterweight in the co-main event. Chase Sherman round 3 prop bet is what MMA Wagers Brandon is going with here. But yeah, Neil Magny 26-9 versus the 17-2 Daniel Rodriguez, coming off that win against Li Jingliang in the last fight. It was a split decision. It was very, very close. Frankly, I kind of feel like D-Rod came up short there. We'll get to it in a second. I think this is a very intriguing fight, though. But definitely I think Daniel, looking forward to this fight, was ready to take it in October and then had an elbow infection. I don't like that at all, man. Less than a month later, they rebooked the fight. I mean, that's not great news. I mean, give me the D-Rod. Okay, whatever, Justin. Rodriguez wins over Parsons, knocked him out. After he came in on short notice, he was supposed to face Abubakar Nurmagomedov, would have beat him. Kevin Lee has a win over him, has a win over Mike Perry. Close decision over Nicholas Dalby. Knocked out Dwight Grant. Gabe Green had a good fight with him. Standing guillotine of Tim Means. Just had a really good go in his UFC go-around here. Neil Magny is going to fight a very similar game plan to Nicholas Dalby. Frankly, I think Neil Magny pretty underestimated still somehow. I have Team Elevation, 26-9 record. Got guillotine choked by Shavkat Rakhmonov in the second round. No shame there. The Max Griffin fight is the one that's more concern here for me because he did almost get knocked out, got knocked down several times by Max Griffin. That's a concern. But showed against Jeff Neal that he was able to get past the power and really control with the grappling. Michael Chiesa is just a better grappler, so he put him away. And yeah, I think that Neil Magny, he's been caught by very powerful guys, but he's also been in there in 2021 with Jeff Neal, where he really showed, I think the chin is quite intact there. Against Griffin, getting dropped those amount of times he does was a very big red flag. And then Shavkat, also got on him. I think Neal's chin isn't that terrible, though. And I do think, again, you see the Li Jingliang, another powerful guy, Ravi Lawler, powerful guy, Jeff Neal, powerful guy. When he's able to get his game plan going and just out cardio and out maneuver his opponent, he really has some luck and gets that Neil Magny type of decision. I was not impressed by Daniel Rodriguez in his last time out. I don't like that he's coming off of an elbow infection with this, no matter how minor or major it is. Rodriguez has got legit power. He definitely can put Magny down, put him away here. This is a very close fight. Another one I'd consider the split prop on. I'm going to go with Neil Magny by decision, though. Minus 115, minus 105, nearly a pick 'em on both sides. Brandon just having some problems with the computer, so trying to work on them. It's all good, man. I appreciate you making the time, and thank you, everybody, for understanding with the technical difficulties here. But yeah, I'm going to go with Neil Magny here by decision. He is the slight favorite. Going to bring Brandon on here, see if what are your thoughts on this one? I have Neil Magny by decision. I'm not crazy about Daniel Rodriguez's last performance. I do think that having that elbow infection that pushed this fight back a month is a bad sign as well for Daniel Rodriguez. And I just think this is the level that Magny kind of beats and exposes and teaches a lesson to still.
Yeah, hopefully I'm coming in clear now.
Yeah.
Yeah, better. Okay, good. Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. Probably the best fight on the card, in my opinion. Um, Neil Magny, they're both 35, actually. Neil Magny, very, very active. He takes a fight almost every 3 months. 19-8 in the UFC, 28th UFC fight. Only loses to pretty good opposition. He's been submitted 5 times, but like to good opposition. Damian Maia, Rachmanov, RDA. He's beat Jeff Neal. He's beaten Robbie Lawler. He lost to Michael Chiesa, but that was in Abu Dhabi, and he said he just didn't like the time zone difference. He made excuses for that fight, and I do believe him. I think if they
That's a Wednesday fight card, right?
yeah, and it was Wednesday as well, like and like it was like 6 in the morning. So yeah, adjusting to that, I believe him. I think if Neil Magny and Michael Chiesa fought in the Apex or something, it'd be a way different fight.
I agree.
And yeah, I think D-Rod's a very good fighter, though, man. He has really good hands. He's very solid. I don't know how good his grappling is. We don't see it very often. I really think he should be 8-0 in the UFC. He beat Nicholas Dalby, in my opinion.
I agree.
So yeah, very good record. Li Jingliang could have went either way. I was on the fence with that one. While they were reading the scorecards, I actually predicted it bang on, though. I just had a feeling D-Rod was going to get a split. But yeah, he's cashed as a plus 125 underdog, plus 245 underdog in the past. I don't know, man. This is such a close fight. I like this fight. I think it's going to go all 3 rounds. I just think Neil Magny's more well-rounded. If he uses his grappling, he's going to stifle Daniel Rodriguez's volume attack. Rodriguez does have the second most significant strikes landed in a 3-round welterweight fight, 175. So yeah, he's going to be coming punches and bunches. But yeah, it's going to be tight quarters in that cage. I got Neil Magny by a close decision.
Yep, I agree. Minus 120, minus 105. Magny is the slight favorite right now. Great fight.
A very quick turnaround for both fighters as well.
Yeah, Neil's done that a bunch, though, so I'm not going to doubt that much. More, and especially with this fight getting pushed back because of an elbow infection from D-Rod, that's a little bit of a concern for me as well.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. So yeah, good info.
Yeah, Amanda Lemos versus my girl Marina Rodriguez here in the main event, 5 rounds in the strawweight division here. Marina wins. She has to get the next title shot, but she'll get screwed out of it somehow. 16-1-2, 12-2-1 for Amanda Lemos here. I like Amanda perfectly fine. I just think, at 35, time's running a little bit out here. Was able to put away Waterson Gomez now. Michelle Waterson, not a fighter I'm really rating that highly in 2022, if I'm being honest, but did what she needed to do. She panicked and quit against Jessica Andrade against the cage in that standing arm triangle. I've talked to several fighters now who have said that from their own mouths about that spot there. So I'm not talking. I would tap from a million different spots, including that spot against Jessica Andrade. So that's not me saying it. That's from fighters I've talked to. And so that did give me some pause, but it's Jessica Andrade. She's made Kaylin Chukagian look like she's never been in there. She's made tons of fighters look like that. So honestly, it's what are you going to do? The Angela Hill fight was a little bit more of my concern because she really did show a little bit of the slowing down in that fight. With Marina Rodriguez, she's going to start at a pace that increases round by round. She really is a pure Muay Thai style fighter. So that first round, more downloading the information, less action. I think it will be interesting to see if Amanda matches that and tries to mirror that and not go with as much volume and activity early, or if she tries to kind of blitz Marina and get Marina out of there early, because I just think round by round this becomes more Marina's fight. I think early on, Marina has dangerous enough tools to keep Amanda away from her and away from dangerous positions. So, Marina Rodriguez, I'll go to her record right now, but you see the knockout of Amanda Ribas. She knocked her out twice in that fight. Waterson Gomez, that was a closer fight for sure with her in that one. But I think she gained a lot from that. Also, that was her first 5-round fight. Did not really show gas issues. 5 rounds against Mackenzie Dern. Got out of a very dangerous grappling situation there early on, and then just was a near perfect performance from Marina for me against Mackenzie Dern as a plus 165 underdog. Then went back down to 3 rounds against Yan Jinan. It was a tough fight. It was close. I think Yan might have even won the fight, frankly. But, it is what it is. I think that the volume that Yan was able to have in that fight, Amanda isn't going to be able to produce for 5 rounds. So 5 rounds is Marina's advantage as well. I like Marina all day in this fight, and I like her by decision.
Yeah, a lot of people are really high on Marina Rodriguez in this fight. She's definitely due for a title shot soon. She's 6-1-2 in the UFC, 2 draws coming to Randa Marcos in her UFC debut and to Cynthia Calvillo, 2 of the not the most top tier opposition, but
heavy grapplers.
Yeah, that's true. She's a Muay Thai style. She loves to keep it on the feet. She's got the 3rd longest average fight time in the division, 4th most knockdowns landed in the division, 5th best striking differential. She's solid. She's really solid, man. And she's obviously working on her takedown defense all the time. Even against Carla Esparza, she struggled. Carla even struggled to take Marina down.
And she opened up Carla too.
Oh, really bad in that 2nd round, even on the ground.
She won that Carla fight, man.
Yeah, I had money on Marina, underdog money, so yeah, that hurt a bit. But it's MMA, you never know. Amanda Lemos, this is interesting. Both these girls are 35 as well, just like the co-main event 35-year-olds.
Different 35, these two. Different 35, in my opinion.
Different. Yeah. These girls are fighting like they're 31, like in their prime right now.
Yeah.
Both amazing records, 12-2-1 for Lemos, 16-1-2 for Rodriguez. Lemos only losing to Leslie Smith in her UFC debut, coming in short notice and up a weight class. So big asterisks there. One standing arm triangle to Andrade that you talked about. So she's lost to good opposition. She's never fought a 5-round fight, though. This is her first scheduled 5-round fight, in my opinion. I mean, not in my opinion. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's a fact.
I'm pretty confident in that. That's a fact. Okay. And she's got 8 out of her 12 wins coming in round 1, so 67% of the time. So after it gets out of round 1, it's going to get fishy for her. Marina's going to start piecing her up, like you said. You gave a really good breakdown. And like I said, Marina's got the longest average fight time. Lemos has the shortest average fight time. Is it the shortest? Yeah, short. Only 7 minutes her fights go in the division. So after that 7-minute mark, it's going to get questionable. So, I definitely have Lemos in the first 2 rounds. I'm going to prop bet, but at the end of the day, I'm putting Marina in parlays. I like how it's the end of the night, so I can hedge bet once, just in case Marina. I mean, if Marina's my last leg, I'll hedge bet with Lemos in round 1 or round 2, and I'll also bet Marina by decision.
Yep. Prop bet. And Marina minus 210 here, plus 180 on Amanda Lemos. I think those are pretty spot on odds there. I'll put Marina in a few parlays.
Lady's super active lately too, and this might be a title contention fight.
I agree. Real quick, we'll go through and go ahead with our quick picks, and then we will sign off here. But great show. Thanks for working through the technical issues and everything. It happens. So
sorry you guys about that. Well, we'll work on it.
It happens. Quick pick time. Ramona Pasquale versus Tamaris Vidal. I got Ramona by decision.
Yeah, Pasquale decision.
Jake Hadley versus Carlos Candelario. I got Jake Hadley. I got him by submission, though.
Okay, you're going submission. I'm taking the decision prop and the split decision for both fighters.
Fair enough. Ludovic Shaolinian versus Johnny Munoz Jr. Johnny Munoz Jr., I guess, by decision. Not super.
Yeah, not a confident pick in this one. I'm going to take the dog. So dog or pass, Ludovic.
Fair enough. Polyana Viana versus Ginu Frey, my least confident pick of the night. Ginu Frey by decision.
Ginu Frey always drops the ball in my opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna go Polyana Viana by submission.
Fair enough.
By submission.
Yeah, Mario Batista versus Benito Lopez, weird fight. Mario Batista should roll here. Probably gets a submission.
Mario Batista, most confident pick on the card. I love his odds. He's going to piece up Benito for 3 rounds or until he gets that knockout finish.
Yeah, great. Another one that should be one-way traffic. Miranda Maverick takes out Shannon Young again for the second time. Shannon Young could survive the decision. She's tough, but I'll say Miranda by ground and pound this time.
Yeah, Miranda, the heaviest favorite on the card. There's a reason for it. She's not going to gas out like Gina Mazzani. She's going to win a 30-27 decision.
Yep. Derek Minner versus Shaolinian Nurandan Becky. The Wolverine here for me. This is a Chinese showcase fight.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Shaylin by inside the distance because he's got 18 knockouts and 10 submissions. So
it's the feature prelim for China. Period.
Yeah.
Mark Madsen versus Grant Dawson. I think Mark Madsen springs a big upset on the short notice. Grant Dawson here and gets an upset decision.
Yeah, one of my favorite fights on the card. I'll take, dog or pass for me as well. Mark training with Cejudo. Grant Dawson is really good though. I'll take the draw as well. I'll take the draw bet.
You don't hate it at all. 125 debut for Nate Maness taking on Tagir Ulanbek. Ulanbek, I think, puts on a wrestling clinic, gasses out me.
Yeah, exact same for me.
Chase Sherman versus Josh Parisian. Flip a coin. I got Josh Parisian by decision.
I'm going to go Chase Sherman round 3 prop bet, and I'm going to take the over.
Fair enough. Neil Magny, Daniel Rodriguez, best fight of the night are the top 2 here. Neil Magny by decision for me, just veteran guile.
Yeah, I'll bet the over in this fight, and I'll take them both by decision, but end of the day, I like Neil Magny.
Yep, and then Marina Rodriguez taking on Amanda Lemos, 2 35-year-olds who are very good in their prime, you could say. I got Marina Rodriguez 5-round experience, better gas tank, and just has to survive the early storm of the first 7.5 minutes, and then it's Marina's fight.
Yeah, it's pretty much that simple. Like Lemos is going to come out hard in the first 2 rounds, but as the fight progresses, it's going to be Marina, and those live odds are just going to keep skyrocketing. So I like Marina and Mario as a parlay, actually. You'll probably get plus money on those 2.
Agree 100%. That's one I like a lot too. But that's going to do it for the breakdown shows for the week. We got the LFA 146 breakdown show on the channel already. We got the Cage Warriors breakdown for Friday on the channel already as well. Give me my wife, Marina. I love her. Oh, Marina, where are you? Justin said.
Nice.
Yeah, Justin, the romantic. But MMA Wagers, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you working through the internet issues that will happen at points.
I appreciate everybody working through it.
Yeah, no big deal. But yeah, nice tidy show here, about an hour-long show. Have the timestamps in the description afterwards as always. But for Aaron and Brandon, we're out of here until next week, which is UFC 281 week. I will be at it live at Madison Square Garden, taking my girlfriend to the fights. It's her first time going to a fight, so pray for her during the Israel Adesanya Alexander Pereira fight. Alex Pereira fight.
Yeah, you're in for violence for sure.
Yeah, but gonna be great. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Good luck on the Cage Warriors, LFA, and UFC breakdown or cards. Peace.
Yep.